Yes.
All right. Chad, you were gonna say something? What was up, Chad?
Starting this a little late. We were talking about how do you know when to put something in a top level folder or not. And ideally, the folder structure will represent the domain structure of your application. And you have clearly defined domain boundaries and relationships between them. We don't have that at GitLab on the back end or the front end, really, unfortunately, but ideally where you can, you should try to have the folder structure represent what your domain boundaries are. That's all I was going to contribute to that.
Yeah, it would be cool. I almost feel like we would need to have a my long-term dream would be if we could actually have like treat these like packages and have some sort of guarding where we don't have packages having a cyclical dependency.
Yeah,
But
and
it
there's
makes a lot
lots
of
of conversations going on in the back end about how can we do this, because our
yeah.
services layer is, kind of a little bit of a mess as is lib and models. But there's architectures for this, like hexagonal architecture and stuff. It's like, here's your domain core, and then around that you have sort of the utility port adapter stuff, and then outside
Yeah.
of that you have UI. And there's ways to approach this. You just have to pick one and be consistent about it, which is basically impossible after you've started without any structure. So
It
there you are.
especially started and scaled at a crazy amount like GitLab has. uh
So
I
that was
would
a downer of a comment. Carry on.
yeah, I would love it if we had rather than top level folder was the domain. If we had like here's our applications, like these are things that get loaded on the page, and here's our libs, like here's our packages which are reused. That that kind of distinction would be really nice. Um,
Just
but
how
yeah,
I did
there's
it back end. It's not, I don't know how applicable it is to Vue because it's all component based, but on the back end, my goal is under the lib directory, I have just pure cohesive domain logic and try to avoid putting any domain logic in the services layer, in the view, in the controllers. And you can sort of do that same thing on the front end as well, although you have less domain logic to deal with. It's more like how do you make the UI work, which is very coupled
yeah,
with view.
yeah, that would be really interesting. Yeah. Uh yeah, what were you gonna share, Eduardo?
Yeah, it's a follow-up question. We were talking about the share view folder, and on a different MR, we have discussed about renaming this flash.js as alert.js. So for the last few months, I have been working on, there was a older utility to create alerts, and I have replaced those with the newer one that is pajama compliance. So now the file only actually contains create alert. And while doing this, one of the reviewers said, well, I don't think flash.js makes sense anymore. Could you rename this to alert.js? And I thought, well, I feel a little bit ambivalent about this. That's a lot of work
Yeah.
with just nicer structure, but the follow-up question is that some people have said, well, this alert.js, I think it belongs not to the top level JavaScript folder, but to the view share. What is your thought? The view share component.
I would not put in view shared. View shared is just a grab bag, which that's a last resort.
Okay.
And yeah, I would not put it in view shared. I think it's fine like this. I would put it in like uh in the lib. We have a lib folder if we wanted to put it not in the top level. Um view shared is like for was intended to be Vue components that we're going to reuse all over the place that for some reason are not in GitLab UI. And there's a lot of conversations of why these components aren't in GitLab UI. There's a lot of abusing of Vue shared. We have very, very domain specific components that live in there, and they really shouldn't. So Vue shared is not really a safe place to put things. Yeah, I would suggest shying away from that. And if we really don't want in the top level, looking at something under lib, because this isn't a component. Yeah, but that's, I also like it just being in the top. I like that too. I like flatter things, so I don't like to nest things too much because I feel like that's so hard to do, like so hard to keep a meaning as you start nesting things. But I'm fine either way. I definitely, so this, I see this MR is just renaming. So that idea of renaming came up while you were changing something else, but you didn't rename everything on top of that other change. This you did that in this follow-up.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I like it here. This makes sense to me. I would just say Vue shared is like, that would be the one place I would say don't put it. Other places I'm fine, whatever other people think is the best place to put it. If I really don't know and there's a whole conversation about it, I'll open up a thread to just have people vote. Vote with emojis and mention it on front end of like, so
yeah. Okay, good. One more question about this, and that's the unrelated.
yeah.
This is a question about templates, I believe. Is this one? No, it's this one. Because I don't know what is going on here. This one. So this simple template has something called help that I thought it was a reference. I am not a Vue developer, so I am new to Vue, but what is happening here is that this slot is re-rendered as a paragraph and is applying some classes to it. I thought, well, why not to name here the slot and put help? It doesn't work. So could you explain how this works?
Yeah, this is a good question. So the template hashtag help. If we just did we didn't have to put template there. If we did like div help or something like that, it's just saying put this in GL form checkbox, bind it to GL form checkbox's help slot. So the hash help is saying put this in the parent component slot. So what we're saying is, this is basically saying we're going to pass through our component approval settings checkbox. We're going to pass through our default slot to GL form checkboxes help slot.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
if you did slot, what were you going to say?
This hashtag is usually a ref, right? Or not? Sorry.
I'm not entirely sure. There, to do a ref, we use the attribute ref. So ref is a special word.
True.
And
okay, sorry.
But I don't know if Vue has a special shortcut for it. It's only, I say recently, but it's probably been 2 years. It's only recently we started doing the hashtag thing, because we used to have to say vbind slot or whatever it was. I don't remember. And that was more specific, but that hashtag is a special Vue shortcut for whatever the slot binding was. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Now, yes, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But looking at it now, I think if I was going to leave a comment here, and this depending on the so definitely measuring the fatigue of the MR, depending on as you already have, of like, okay, where am I going to leave comments or not? One thing I would look at here and think about would be like, okay, maybe we should call our slot though help. Like, does it make a lot of sense when someone uses approval settings checkbox? Does it make sense that the default where those child components are going to go? And maybe we need to make some what's the word I'm thinking of, symmetry between the slot and what we're sliding into here. Not a big deal, just thinking out loud.
Okay, that were my questions.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, thanks for patiently working on the EMR, because I think that mentoring stuff does go a long way. And I know it can feel like, oh man, I don't want to. I do find this is an exponential investment when the comments and learning that you share ideally stick with the receiver and hopefully then perpetuate as they review code, and that kind of stuff helps out a lot too. So I think it is worth doing.
That's our hope, right?
I am a bit of an optimist. Chad can attest to that. Cool. Yeah. Well,
Are you Pollyanna?
what?
Pollyanna.
Pollyanna. Is Pollyanna an optimist?
Pollyanna is a synonym for
Really? Okay.
Pollyannish is overly optimistic.
Oh no, this is like sounds like it was destined to be. Yeah. Well, I've got some stuff that we can try to tackle in the remainder of time. We can also try to find a is this known bug and just fix it while we're on here. That's one of my favorite things to do. Oh, what do you all vote for?
Whatever.
Okay. I've got some stuff I'm working on for the web ID project, and that could be interesting. But let me see what OpenMRs I actually have. I need to jump on this. Last time we talked about this untamper-my-lockfile that I was updating, and I need to create some more tests around this and get the current test passing and respond to IP's comments. So this would be really nice for me to push forward some because we kind of need it. So this is
it's related to everybody can contribute because the
yep,
project's private right now.
100%. So yeah, let's do it. All right. Let's just get started. And we don't have a whole lot of time, but we can get started on it. Okay. I think I already have the branch here. Yes. Let me make sure I'm up to date. Yes, I'm up to date. All right. So this project is our package, which throws a fit on your pipeline if you if it detects that there was any tampering done to the yarn lock file. So for instance, correctly parses, create error on merge should create error file does exist. I'm trying to find an example of what like a tampering would look like. We'd look for like typo squatting. Squat. Yes. Yeah. So here on the original yarn, for yarn v1 lock files, You can have this is the package that may be referencing in our package JSON, and then the lock file has all this, but the resolved goes to some sort of malicious typo squatted package. It'd be incredibly difficult thing to catch from a reviewer perspective if a malicious contributor adds a dependency that updates the lock file but changes this little bit. So that's why we have this security package in place, but it only works for Yarn v1. So
not everybody can contribute, is what you're saying, Paul, right?
all of the, I was going to say all the good actors.
If you are not malicious, yes, you can contribute all that you want.
You're right. Not everybody can contribute. That's kind of shaking up my world. They can try. That's it. Everyone can try to contribute.
They contributed something. We just didn't want it.
Yeah. That's the slogan. Everyone can try to contribute. Oh man, that's intense. So this doesn't work for Yarn v2. For the web ID package, we use Yarn v2 because we are using Yarn workspaces to have nice cohesive packages. And so we haven't been able to turn this on for that. And for that reason, we also don't allow merge requests at the moment. So push this up, was able to implement Yarn v2 support. But now I'm just got to polish it up a little bit. So I've got to update the end-to-end specs. I need to update some docs about it. Then IP left a comment, and one of the comments he left was, let's see, right here. Yes. This was one of, and we talked about this last time.
Sharing, Paul.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Am I not sharing my screen?
Also,
thanks for saying something.
In the chat either.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for saying something. So one of the weird things with Yarn 2 is how it references packages. Because rather than doing this, like, here's the name and then things were resolved and here's the huge URL to it. Yarn 2 actually looks like this, where the resolution is like the name and then we got it at npm and here's the version. So the resolution isn't this long URL anymore. And so I have this helper for parsing. We need to have a function that just parses the package name out of some of these patterns that look like this. And so there's a number of different examples of these kind of resolution things. And what IP observed was this is potentially the regex that we need to just get the name out of it. Because these wouldn't work with the current implementation of it, because I was just looking at npm or something like that. I think because we were using, there's sometimes you can have these patch things, I guess. I don't know. But here's the cool thing. This whole file doesn't really care about the right-hand side of these kind of strings, and we really just need the left-hand side, the actual name of it on this helper. And so what I was trying to do was touch as little of the pre-existing code as possible. So this is me just doing an edge case that can happen in Yarn v2 land and then composing the original functionality so I didn't have to divert from that too much. But IP, who's maintaining this, went ahead and suggested, let's just use this kind of regex and call it a day. Now, before I do that, I think it'd probably be nice if I actually had just some unit tests for this. So maybe let's set up with unit tests so that when I change the implementation of it, we can know if we actually kept things the same or not. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. To make matters more, I have never used Ava before, except just in this contribution of, and so this it does not use jest. Should be fine. But I'm gonna copy whatever this is doing as a pattern for how I can write tests for this thing. All right, let's go ahead and require parse package name v2. Parse package name v2. Let's require from parse package name.
Typo.
Oh, typo? Really? Do I have a
No,
typo?
in require.
Oh, thank you. All right, cool. Let's go back to here. I don't think I need those before and afters. I really don't think I do. I'm gonna assume that I don't. I'm gonna assume this is because of some sort of more like integration. Like, let's check out with here. Yeah, I don't need those. Oh yeah, I should just be looking at this spec file. Cool. And it looks like I just write these tests and I can just assert that things equal, I guess. Is there a way to do parameterized tests in Ava? Should I look that up right now or should I just keep going?
Keep going.
Keep going. All right. We're gonna test parse package name v2 works. I don't know, man.
Very unanimous on that one, Paul.
Okay. Deep equals is the only. I saw that was one. I don't know if that's really what I'm wanting to use, but let's just leave it. So if I'm at low dash npm 1.2.3, I should deep equal low dash. That's what I'm anticipating. So let's try to test this thing and see that it works.
Success.
They said I wasn't an Ava developer. All right.
Well, try to write it correctly just in case.
Try to
See,
do which one?
See it fail. Like
to fail. Make
Oh,
it
this
fail.
is good. This is a good idea. Yes. This will fail.
good call, Eduardo.
Yeah. I have no assertions. Test pass. Now I'm testing my code too. Yeah. So we would want to have something like this. And then let me copy over. Yeah, let's copy some silly stuff like this over.
I never hear about Ava.
Yeah. I don't know.
I've been playing with VTest, which is just like a cooler, faster jest. It's kind of nice.
It's cooler than Jest. I really like Jest. So much better than Karma. We used to use Karma. That was so gnarly.
I don't mind Karma.
What was the biggest issue for us was that none of the tests were sandboxed. So we would have side effects left over from one test file affecting another test file.
Yes, you need to be careful about cleaning up very well after your test. But once you have a very good routine about that, I couldn't find any objection. And in fact, it was really nice to have a real browser where you could see what was happening, how the UI looked like. It was really, I like it. But at that time I was using things that were related with browser extensions and things like that. So it was very difficult to test using Jest.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. All right. So we ran into our first failure. That's great. And so IP is suggesting this regex.
But if you are not interested in the rest,
yes.
why are you gonna do that thing so complex?
Exactly. So I almost want to just do something like this, right? Because it's really just need the name. And so this is saying we're capturing a group called name. It might start with an at, and then we do everything that's not an at for as long as possible until the next at. And looking at all of these, that's kind of the pattern it follows.
Hmm.
So, do you all feel good about this with this? With this regex? I like regex.
We all like regex until it becomes unreadable for yourself, or
Yeah.
you return after 1 week and say, "What? How did I write that?"
Regular expressions are write only. You can write them, but you can never read them.
I like them. I like reading. I like when they get really long, though, it's really tough. Yeah. Uh,
The AI is good at explaining them.
this is true. Yeah,
Why? Why not? So at and then the first. What is the meaning of the first at in the regular expression? So after name, at.
it could optionally start with an at because it could be. That's what I think is trying to be captured here is we could optionally start with an at because we're like doing at GitLab UI, like that kind of package name.
Yeah.
So we need to capture that bit. But then whether we start with an at or not, we just keep going until we find an at, which I think we can actually simplify this. I think we can simplify this now that we're talking about it. Because I think we could do we're just going to capture anything. Yeah. We're just going to capture anything, but at least there has to be at least one of them. That'll actually work. I'm pretty sure. We have some tests for it.
But that will, for example, take the at of npm.
No, because that's what the second at is gonna capture, is like the second at is just when we need to start. So we're able to just yeah. So this will work because we're capture the name as the very beginning until we hit an at, which we didn't start with, and something like that. Something like that. Yeah. Let's get call simplifying it. Let's see if it works though. I forgot how named groups work in match equals. I think you do match on the pattern and then we get. Oh, is this like some sort of I'm not getting my I gotta look. I always have to look up how named group works. Named group after groups JavaScript. Would appear under matches groups. Are we saying
Match dot groups.
match dot groups?
Dot name.
Is that what we're saying?
Maybe package name would
make
have been
more sense.
better. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Can I do maybe? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. That's great. I forgot how to do JavaScript. Is it exec? Is that what I'm trying to do?
Try.
Yeah, let's try it. Resolve. It's got some sort of.
Yeah.
I remember.
You execute it.
What'd you say? I know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Okay.
It has more than one ad or something like that.
It's being
There are two ads at that.
it for one thing that's wrong here. Yes, there's two ads, and I didn't do my parentheses correct here.
Let's see.
The thing that's happening is this is greedy, which means it's going to take as much as possible, including ads. It's not going to stop at the first ad. So we need to make it, I forgot how to, non-greedy regex plus. Yeah. Isn't regex the best? It's great. It's so great. Is it, do you just makes match non-greedy? Okay, great. All right. Something like that.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Note makes non-greedy. So we don't include extra ads. Yeah. Cool. Great. So let me try some now that let me try some other should I look up how to parameterize tests in Ava? I really want to. The other thing I'm really curious about is like some crazy edge cases. So if like we're here at the edge case, what's it gonna do there? Like if we never found an at all. So if like here, if we're at not match, should we just return pattern? I don't think that's going to happen. Or maybe we actually want to throw an error if that's the case. Yeah, maybe if we're here, we can just actually want to throw an error of saying like unexpected pattern for yarn v2 gen.
The next meeting. See ya.
All right. Oh yeah. I'll see you all later. Thanks for hopping on, Eduardo. Thanks for hopping on, Chad.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.